Hello, everyone, and wow, I'm just making this episode after Path of Exile 4.0 or Path of Exile 2, as it's being called. I just want to make. I did say in the last episode, which I thought was going to be the last, that I was going to make a new episode, but I just need to change settings real quick because I think my voice is a little bit too quiet, which might be a good thing. So just bear with me. Right, so hopefully. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, so there's not going to be any gameplay in this episode. Oh my goodness, I've already got 2 comments and I've... Blimey. So yes, there's not going to be any gameplay in this. This is just going to be purely me giving my thoughts about the 4.0 and 3.9 announcements, hopefully with Elwind. Hello, Elwind, yes. Okay, so, first things first, I want to finish off this league, the Blight League, and I just want to say it's been my favourite league so far. Really enjoyed the Blight mechanic. I enjoyed the totem build. I had a lot of fun. I love this new microtransaction look, and I hope to further develop it in the future. A lot of fun. The only thing that, well, I guess this leads on to 3.9 and 4.0, so I'll talk about that later on. Anyway, so that's it for the Blight League. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series and as much as I did, and I'm going to move on to talk about the announcement. Now, this is literally the next day after the announcement, so there's just so much information has been given out and so much that will be revealed that obviously, I can't see the future, but I will talk about sort of the initial keynote and my first impressions. So, first of all, I want to talk about 3.9. I want to talk about in order, even though 4.0 was actually revealed first. But 3.9, I have mixed feelings about the new mechanic, which apparently is you mix different items and you create your own monster sort of thing. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think it's... What I'm worried about is that it might end up being a bit too time intensive and a bit too complicated, whereas the good thing about Blight and Legion, for example, is that you can just activate whatever it is and do it. I'm not quite sure about combining sort of these monster blobs or whatever to create a new thing. I'll wait and see how it goes, because I remember that when Blight was first introduced, I was like, I'm not sure about the tower mechanic, and it ended up being my favourite, so I'm cautiously optimistic about the new mechanic in 3.9. The new endgame, which is coming in 3.9, so they've basically revamped the old Atlas, so you now start from the middle, and you go towards the outside, so it's a complete revamp of the whole thing. One thing I really like about it is that there's no longer shaped and elder influence. I don't like messing around with the shaped and influence areas. I find it tedious, time-consuming, random at times. I just don't like it. I spend too much time planning and not enough actually doing what I want to do. So I don't fully understand the whole mechanics. This is again a first impression based on what I've seen on the keynote. I'm sure there's been panels detailing it. But I'm very glad that this has been replaced with, I think, different currencies now. So elder and shaped currencies of some sort. So I like it. I like it. I also like the announcement they've made about the fact that eventually you can make all your maps T14 to 16, which is great. So no more, running very low-level maps for very little rewards. So I'm liking the changes. Also the fact that you can now socket stuff into the map to give it different properties. Again, all sounds very exciting. 3.9 seems time-consuming. Yeah, Elwin, that's a little bit what I'm worried about with the mechanic, but we'll wait and see. But I am liking the new Atlas. Let me quickly go. There's a Reddit page that kind of very nicely summarizes the things that have been announced. So let me quickly go to it, so then I can have a better flow to what I'm actually talking about instead of going back and forth. So I'm still on 3.9. I'm clicking on the ExileCon information and reveals thread. Okay, what was given? Expansion. Okay, new endgame story. That's fine. Yeah, allows up to to upgrading all maps on the Atlas T14, which is what I just mentioned. You can then upgrade maps, sockets, start at the center of the Atlas. I've mentioned that. The new bow skill, I want to talk about that. So they've showed off a new bow skill called the Ice Shot, which I really, really like. In fact, I like it so much that I might make my next 3.9 build Ice Shot. And it also just happens that we have all our ice microtransaction. What a coincidence. So I can make a very, very beautiful looking character. And I kind of want to move away from the magic a little bit and sort of do a hybrid magic type build. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'm not promising that's going to be the next build, but I'm keeping an eye on that. They've also confirmed Support Gem Plus. Now, Support Gem Plus basically says that they're better versions of current supports. Again, more customization, more optimization, more things to look forward to. Happy about that. They then talk about the influenced currency to replace the Elder and Shaper influence. Yep, 4 new influences, which is good. Ability to combine 2 influence items. So there's a lot of, I think the 3.9 league seems to be a lot of combination of items, which has me a little bit worried because I don't want to waste too much time crafting and combining things. But I'm happy they're getting rid of the Shaper and Elder influence. That's one of the aspects I don't really like about mapping. I just find it a bit too time consuming, like I mentioned. Then talks about the Metamorph, which is the name of the new challenge in 3.9. Again, I talked about that. Cautiously optimistic. I think it could end up being something that's a bit too tedious to get the rewards that you want. But again, we'll wait and see. So 3.9 overall, I would say, yeah, I'm quite excited for it. I'm looking forward to the new map. I'm looking forward to the new socket gems and obviously everything that comes usually with a new league. So very happy with that. Now, 4.0. Very impressed with the reveal. There is one thing about 4.0 that I think everyone loved. I can't see why anyone wouldn't love it. And that is the announcement of getting rid of sockets on the equipment and instead having skill gems being having their own socket slots. This essentially means that you can have, 6 linked skills. That's huge, because usually now what happens is you have one skill, like here I've got totem, so you've got one skill, and then you put all your gems, your support gems around that, which then means that the rest of your skills that you've got, your active skills, they're kind of shit. I mean, yeah, you've got a few support gems, but it's all around based one active skill gem, and you have a little bit here and there supporting it with the other active skills. And now you can have the equivalent of, say, 6 or 7 active skills with 6 or 7 support gems. That's huge. And I think that it's incredibly huge to the point that it changes completely the whole game massively, because rather than having just one skill, like I said, you can now have, imagine having, it's just the combinations. It just blowed. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the main mechanic of 4.0, which is fantastic. I'm trying to picture. You can have, for example, okay, here's an example. My first build was a golem, golemancer, and it was an ice golemancer. Imagine having, okay, there's a cap on how many golems you can have, obviously, but you can have, say, you can have a maximum of 9 golems. You could have fire, ice, and lightning. Yeah, but they can all be buffed up with 6 gems each. It's crazy. The amount of combinations that you can do is absolutely phenomenal. So I think that's going to be the main draw of 4.0. I like the new graphic overhaul, obviously polished. That's everything. We've all expected that, which is great. The other big thing that they've announced is 19 new ascendancies, which is huge. That's big. I mean, the amount of customization, again, it opens up so many new build options. One thing I want to highlight, though, is, before I go on any further, let's let people actually respond. And skill trees will be different on PoE 2, they won't reveal yet. Yeah, I was going to talk about that. New skill tree, but they haven't revealed any details about that yet. But before I go any further, Elwyn, what did you think? What was your favourite part of the announcement? Mine was the skill gems, the skill gem revamp. That's definitely my favourite part. Einha. Oh yes, I did enjoy Einha. He was funny. But in terms of the actual game, what was your favourite announcement for 3.9 or 4.0? Oh, I also forgot to mention that it was my birthday yesterday, so it was a very nice treat to watch the keynote announcement live on my birthday. Just thought I'd mention that. All, of course, 3.9 extended endgame and all. Happy birthday. Thank you, Elwyn. Yeah, the thing is, this is how you do a massive expansion reveal. I think, and as I've predicted in the last episode, they completely blew Blizzard in pretty much every way. It, it, I'm sorry, but the Diablo 4 announcement had nothing on this. I would also like to add that one of the announcements was the introduction of a quote-unquote druid class, done properly, I think. So one of the things I actually did really like about part of Diablo 4 was the druid class. I'm a big fan of sort of druidism in RPGs and MMOs, and well, it seems that 4.0 pretty much satisfies that and more, because you can imagine the amount of customization, linking the druid form with different gems and the different ascendancies. There's already an ascendancy that's been confirmed to be with morphing and druidism, so that pretty much blows Diablo 5. There is nothing, I think, that Blizzard can do at this stage to stop this. I just can't see it. I just cannot see it. This is an announcement done right. And I kind of just mentioned that, just, rather than Blizzard, this is how you do announcements. When you have a big convention like this is what you do. You reveal gameplay, you reveal tons of information. This is how you do it. You hype people up with the voice actors, which I particularly like seeing voice actors in sort of participating in the community like this. This is how you do it. This is how you do an announcement. You keep people happy, you give them what they want. None of this sort of Blizzard tease, unfinished, unpolished, maybe we'll see thing, which I didn't particularly like about the Diablo reveal. It was too vague, not enough information. See you guys in 2 years, sort of thing. So very happy about that. PoE Mobile. Oh yeah, PoE Mobile. I think even then they completely destroyed Blizzard in that sense, because PoE Mobile looked way much better than Diablo Immortal. It looked very polished, and it might actually be a game that I'm probably going to get on my mobile. So. They do have cinematics. They do. But the thing about cinematics is, you watch them once, twice, maybe 3 times, and at the end of the day, it's the core game that people are going to come back to. It's not... Having a good story is good. It's important. But like I said, it's the game that people are going to be playing. So, very excited. What other things that I really like? So the Druid... the Ascendancy classes, yes. So they've announced a total of... we now have 38 extra ascendancies, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. There was already a lot of customization, but I think every class is now getting something like I don't know, something like 6 or 7 more ascendancies. I don't know, but it's crazy amount. Crazy amount. Which is going to open up so many new build options. And this is on top of, obviously, the revamped skill tree, which we know nothing about. So that's going to be huge. So, I tried to open my phone to see comments, but my fingerprint isn't being recognised because my finger is dry. It's got rid of the actual fingerprint marks. Let me use my pin. Hold on. There we go. Funny that we are the one monster remaining. The meme became reality. 3.9 builds on this. But what else can I say? Ascendancy. Okay, this is what I don't like. Okay, now I'm gonna, I praised it and everything to keep Elwyn happy so he doesn't snap at me. But this is the one thing I didn't like, and it's the sort of thing that Blizzard has done with Overwatch, which I didn't like, and that is they've called it Path of Exile 2. Now, I agree with them splitting the campaign. That's perfectly fine. I think that's a good idea, because I think if they just added more chapters onto the current campaign, it would just make it too long, and people would get annoyed at the fact that they didn't reach endgame. Good idea. Completely agree with it. I don't like the fact they're calling it Path of Exile 2. It's a little peeve of mine. I think they should stick... The way I see sequels is, if you're going to do a sequel, it should be completely separate to the first game, completely fresh start. They should have just called it Path of Exile and sort of more focused on an expansion branding rather than ticking a 2 at the end, which is the same thing done with Overwatch. Essentially, the Overwatch 2 is an expansion. That's what it is. But I don't like the idea of them calling it a sequel. It's an OCD thing. I don't like it. That's the only pet peeve of mine. But it seems to be the way the industry... Yeah, it is, but I still think it's an expansion, a large expansion, rather than a sequel. Overwatch is doing the same thing, they're revamping the graphics and stuff, but it's still Overwatch. It's not something radically different or completely new that you would associate a sequel with. I just don't like tacking the 2 at the end. I don't know. Well, no, Overwatch 2, it is an expansion, but Path of Exile 4.0 is not really Path of Exile 2. I mean, in essence, okay, yeah, the skill... Alright then. The skill gem system, I think, is what makes it 2.0, the revamped skill system. I think if it wasn't for the revamped skill gem system, I think, yes, I would have probably stuck with the expansion. Really, I think people must know just how much the change is with the skill gem system. It's huge, and I'm going to go back to it because that's my favourite part of the 4.0 announcement. Just having... Can you imagine having 7 6-length active skill gems? Is insane. They also said, I think, that they're going to get rid of fusing. Not quite sure how that's going to work, but I guess because you're not having... Which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I'm not particularly a fan of the fusing mechanic and the links, but... oh, look! I've received an offer, even though I'm pretty much finished with this season, but let's make this person happy. I don't care what I put it up for, but... Oh, he actually offered me more. Anywho, moving on. Yeah, very, very, very excited. I think just the scope that it opens up for builds and for now, I'm not a theory crafter. I'm going to say that, you guys probably... I'm not a theory crafter, not because I don't like it, but just because I don't want to invest the time in theory crafting. I'd rather someone do the work for me and then I have fun with it. So, yeah. I don't mind sort of adapting theory crafting, that's fine, which is what I've done with this totem build. I don't mind adapting it, but sort of theory crafting a build from scratch takes a lot of time, and it's not really something that I want to do. But there are many people in the community that are much better at me than theory crafting, and Elwyn's probably one of them. So we'll let Elwyn do all the hard work, and then we just have fun with the build. But it's huge. Anyway, I'm very happy with it. Also, I think I should mention, microtransaction-wise, obviously, I think no one was expecting otherwise, but they've confirmed that all transactions and purchases will carry over to Path of Exile 2, which is, yeah, this is the thing about having the 2 at the end. It's everything carries on over, which is great. So very happy about that. Obviously, I will be spending more money on Path of Exile. I kind of stopped spending, I think, after... I'm not going to count the totem microtransaction, that was a minor thing, but I think the last big purchase I made was the Celestial... yes, sort of the Celestial thing. That was the last major purchase, and I think I bought a Corp Support pack, can't even remember, but that was months ago. I definitely will be investing money because there is clearly a long-term support plan for the game, and I think 3.9 and 4.0 have shown that this game isn't going anywhere, it's staying. and I like the direction it's going, which means I'm very happy to invest in the game. So do expect a lot of microtransaction purchases going forward. Maybe not next season, actually, because if I end up going with an ice build, I'd probably stick with most of what I've got. But yeah, so I'm very happy to spend money. This is clearly a game I'm going to be investing a lot of time in going forward, and next generation, of course, which I'm sure they'll invest money on that as well. Stop spending. We'll see the support packs though. Oh no, we might as well spend. We'll see what the support packs are like. I have to say, I've got most of the themes that I like already. So I've got the Ice theme, I've got Arcane theme, I've got Celestial theme. So those are the three main themes that I like. I will buy bits and bobs, but I think in terms of a new theme, what I'm particularly hoping for is a Druid type theme. I know that there are some Druid cosmetics already, but there's not enough. So either a Druid type theme, which I'm sure they'll release, you know, especially with Morphing announced, and Druidism. The Illusionist microtransaction I really like, but there's not enough of them. Let's have a look at microtransactions. What themes are there that I could... new, maybe? What's new? I haven't even checked. Ooh, Demonic Cat Pet, I want that. Oh my god. Oh. Oh no, I don't like that. I like this. Divine Arcane Rings. Right. Okay. Let's go to... I'm just trying to think. Armor. I guess if I go with a fire-based build, I'll obviously buy fire-based microtransaction. This looks Druid type. Oh yes, that's right. The water is also another one. The only problem with the water thing is that there's not enough. There isn't a skill that has a water microtransaction that I like. I think there's only one skill that has water-based microtransaction. But yes, water is definitely one that I'm keeping an eye on. Illusionist, yeah, I like that as well. But again, I think it's more to do with skills and linking them with the armor rather than the other way around. This is quite nice. No, I don't like that. That's nice too. But yeah, so I think I'm going to end it here actually. Unless Elwin, you want to share any thoughts and concerns about the announcement, but to be quite honest, I think other than the pet peeve I've got that it being called Path of Exile 2.0, I still stand by it. I'd rather they gave it like an expansion name sort of thing, but yeah. Other than that, I'm very impressed with everything. I like the two separate acts that they're doing, so you can choose which one to do. I think that's also a really good idea. But I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to 3.9. That's on the 13th of December. So that's in a month's time, which I'm very much looking forward to. In terms of build, like I said, I've got my eye on the ice shot at the moment, and that would be great because I've already got most of the microtransactions for it. I did say I was going to consider doing a skeletal mage, a celestial, and that's also still on the table. But yeah, we'll wait and see. There's still new skill gems that need to be added and stuff, so we'll see. But yeah, so that was my thoughts on 3.9 and 4.0. Very happy with the reveal. I wasn't surprised about the fact that it was going to be good, because GGG has kind of proven that they actually know what they're doing. So they are a little bit slow at times, especially with one of the leagues which was busted on console. But they have redeemed themselves. I think they're clearly spending time on the game. They're clearly spending time on optimizing, and that's shown in the Blight League, which I've only had like 1 or 2 crashes, and funny enough, the crashes actually happened in non-crowded bits. But yeah, very happy with it. So hope you guys have enjoyed. No gameplay, but hopefully, you've enjoyed sort of me rambling on about the thoughts of the new announcement. This is it for 3.8. I will see you guys again in 3.9, and yeah, I hope to see you then. Bye everyone. Take care.